Morning, y'all. It's the ghost of Earl talking to you. You'll watch this in about, I don't know, 45 minutes, 30 minutes, depending on how salty the Sams at the NASA are feeling today. We'll find out. Had to get up and, when I get on my knee freaks, I take all my plastic bottles to the plastic garbage cans that I take to the recycle bin and put them in the shed, because they make noise when you try to sleep, depending on the weather. The plastic bottles clink, 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 they pop into stuff if you have them in a recycle bin in the house. And then I, get up and throw my trash. This is a voter registration form of where to vote. And I throw this in the trash. I believe in Haile Selassie and the real truth of his existence. And I have faith in God, the essence of mine and Haile Selassie's existence. And I don't believe in democracy. I don't believe in getting together in a popularity contest, a bunch of psychotic, aggressive mass murderers, and voting for who I think is more humane at mass murdering people over money. It's clinical insanity, and I refuse to participate. I thought I was led to believe Barack Obama was going to step forward and talk about the truth of the life of Haile Selassie, but he never did. So I stopped voting after he let me down in his last appearance in the Dog and Pony Show. So said to myself, shit. But I do believe in kingdom come. I do not believe in governments. I do not believe in democracy. I do not believe in republics. I don't believe a bunch of murdering assholes can sit down and agree to how they're going to conduct business over using invention to manipulate access to the resources, which is God's creation, for us to live. Water, food, shelter, all the things we need. And when you look, that's actually one of the presidents. His name was George Walker Bush. In his last days in the presidency, he went out with migrant workers and did a day's work with them. Said it was his best day of the presidency. He's surrounded by the best people that he'd been around the whole time he was president, and recommended that Congress come do it too. That they come out with people that, thing is Congress won't do it because Congress doesn't want to die from exposure to chemicals used by their lobbyists to maintain the jobs for survival of the plants through our toxic behaviors because of economic genocide. So, there's skunk tracks back here. So, but, it's horrid, man. And, I am anonymous as far as public exposure to people that have trouble comprehending reading books or have trouble understanding and functioning in a meaningful, intelligent conversation with an intelligent person, right? I help people a lot when I go shopping here in town at Walmart. I talk to them, and, you meet somebody just once. Can we find the way to finally make it right? You talk to them just once, and you remind the soul that it's the essence of life inside the body and the mind that's constantly tortured by complete selfish fucking assholes. That works, When the soul, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy. None of them can stop the time. Have faith and jump, right? They're going to kill me. I'm not saying life is a precious gift from the glory of God. I'm saying regard it. Treat it with the utmost dignity and respect and empathy. Okay? I'm not saying get crazy and kill others and kill yourself. When I say freedom, I live free or die. I'm not an idiot, coke can dickhead like fucking Clarence Thomas. He's an asshole. And so are the rest of his black dress wearing bitches who manipulate people with linguistics and call it a law, right? I don't want to listen to that motherfucker. He gets on my nerves, right? You know, the more these people talk, the less cute they is. The less desirable they are, the less attractive they are. Okay, let that be their sin. Don't let it be yours. Don't share in their sin by reacting to their sin with more sin, right? Sin is missing the mark. We're given life by the glory of God. We're given natural laws to sustain our existence through faithfully loving one another in holy covenants. If you get angry and violent and act stupid like these assholes mass murdering people in Iran for oil, you're going to participate in their sin. You're not a Christian. You're not a Muslim. Okay? You're not like the Buddha. You're not like the Krishna. Right? You're not worthy of being mentioned in the breath of people that wanted us eternally to live faithful, loving lives, obeying the natural laws provided by the infinite essence for our eternal existence through faithful love, right? Okay, so don't listen to those assholes on TV talk to you about God wants this for you. God has a plan for you. Let's discuss Constantine and Jerome's comic book interpretation of Earl's life and talk about how brilliant we are doing it because we're making lots of money to pay extortion to mass murder over oil. Yeah, maybe you'll get scratched by a monkey near Japan, right? Dipshits, you know? What are you doing? The lesson is don't feed the monkeys? No, the lesson is you're not a monkey. Okay, you're a human being. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy. You know, God save me. Have faith and jump. All right? We thought about getting a test up and finding some people, you know, come in with one of those little things to work on the lineman things and installing it up there and then putting it into the electric box on the side of the house to help with the wind, to help with the surplus, you know, help put energy back in the grid so they don't have to rely on the grid as much and, you know, just help out. He's thought about it. I just talked to him about it and I'm gonna let it go. Same thing with the using solar panels with a electric juice battery to help have backup just in case there's grid problems when it's hot to maintain the food, you know, because that's one thing I always am concerned about is just food during times of, you know, making sure people have food, make sure people are okay. That's always my main concern. I don't think about money. I don't give a shit about money. Money's not real. I love people, right? I want people to be taken care of. Then you'll get assholes. Why don't I pay extortion for children that are taken from me by people that mass murder people that can't pay their extortion because they can't sell their oil to cause global warming, heart disease, and cancer? I don't know. You ask yourself your fucking questions. Don't ask me any of your fucking questions. I don't want to hear your fucking questions. I'm the solution to your fucking face talking. I'm the living embodiment of the Lord's Prayer. You're a mass murderer trained monkey for money. Now go kill people in the Middle East until we make most of the money off of their oil. That's gross, isn't it? Yeah. You're a Christian and you vote. And this is exactly what's supposed to be happening at the end of days in order for us to have God come from the sky and save us from the lie of the devil. Okay, guys, it's been fucking June 9th, 2009, outside of Fort Huachuca, that the man that looks like Son of Man, and I really, really did look like the portraits of Son of Man when I started posting out of Fort Huachuca all those years ago. They're on my YouTube. Go look at them. Dingleberry. Just go look at the history. Just go look at the videos. Go look at the very oldest ones. Go oldest to newest. A lot of them, you know. Wow, he does. Well, but some of them I had to vote in later because I took down that one. But the ones where I have the long hair, when I'm sitting in the McDonald's on Sunday, sitting around all the families from Fort Huachuca, where their daddies are being sent off to mass murder or be mass murdered to maintain surplus population because of bad brain chemical addiction activities that we call being a human being because of democracy in the republic. And I'm trying to get them all to join me in living the Lord's Prayer and save their children from their fate. And how did that work, girl? Well, you tell me. You vote for president. You watch TV. You watch more TV than I do. You participate in social media to have real news instead of fake news more than I do, right? I'm just a voice howling in the wilderness. I'm just an anonymous lover who wants to save children from being mass murdered by participation in manipulative, abusive, genocidal linguistics, right? That's all I am. That's not bad. That's actually really good. That's absolutely gorgeous. That's the Word became flesh. That's the Gospels. I know. That's all I am. Just the Gospels. Well, that ain't bad. It's not bad at all. It's actually really good to be the Gospels. What's really bad? To be on the outside looking in, have Rockefeller collecting the evidence that you know who I am, and then debating comic books over genocide for lots of money, and thinking you gotta go to a magic place after you die where you're part of the Gospels. Yeah, that's bad. That's really bad. Yeah. I've never watched those. I've seen bits and pieces of those Left Behind propaganda TV shows back in like the 90s or 2000s that Kurt Cameron was in. But I never took them seriously and really watched them. Well, because I'm not insane. And so my family does. I don't watch most movies and stuff, I've already told you, I watch lots of kid movies with my kids, and then they get even more irritating with the propaganda bullshit, so I stopped watching those. Yeah, I know they're propaganda movies, but I still like Bambi. I still like Cinderella, and I still like Lucifer bad. It's like, no, the cat's not bad. Mice will get into your cabinets and piss all over your stuff and get you sick and can kill you. And cats can kill the mouse, so the mouse won't get you sick by urinating and pissing and shitting all over your food utensils and getting into your food and pissing and shitting in that. So, Gus and Jacques are not always quote unquote good and sweet, and Lucifer not bad for eating Jacques and Gus, okay? Or the birds. It's what cats do. I like birds too, and Dad tells me that, and Dad's like, Dad, love that. I don't love that chicken at Popeyes, but I did like Mom's and Michelle's fried chicken, and so I can't begrudge Sly for catching a bird or two every week. So yeah, that's a dove. That's like having turkey. I love turkey sandwiches. I'm not the amazing Mumford. Peanut butter sandwiches, they're all right, but I really like turkey sandwiches. Right? Turkey sandwiches are really good, right? So, man, I gotta go when it dries up and cut all the dead weeds over there. I went over and told him what the weed killer does. Okay. And I will pay for the gas and I'll cut them, all right? And he, and he shakes his head and listens and all that. And then, boom, bam, I got more dead weeds from weed killer over there from him trying to save money than I do from Buddy's guys all put together. Okay? Love thy neighbor as thyself. I do. It's just the thing is I have to realize, and understand, I love my neighbor. He's dumb as a box of rocks, right? Okay? People renting from him, we're out of here, he's driving us crazy. It's all about money. It's cash cropping. He does some of the dumbest things, and you'll explain to him why. Well, I'll help you do it. Don't do that. Do this. I'll help you. And he thinks you're trying to scam him for money or something. And you're like, how many times? God damn. They think you're trying to hoodwink them. They think you're trying to scam them or outsmart them. Or you're just fucking crazy. Okay. Just go for fucking crazy. We'll just go with that. He's crazy. I'm Ralph Earl Parsons Jr. I'm the Boo Radley Messiah of Las Cruces, New Mexico. And I'm fucking crazy to all the people that believe money's real and do stupid batshit things that make their neighbors sick and kill them to feed the medical industry. Just in case any of you dumbasses were wondering. Right? It's uncomfortable and it's painful. We've been talking a lot the last 2 days about people plugged into computers over the years. And that's it's for genome sequencing, genetic sequencing. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of them. Well, with a lot of influence over family units through consistent genetic molecular structure. So people that migrate together and pray to get together and have children together over time. Okay. They're not going to have people, people that operate, quote, independently are a part of Genghis Khan and Kublai Khan's rape groups, Imhotep's rape groups, Hopotep's rape groups, Ramesses the Great's rape groups, Caesar's rape groups. No, that's not necessary. They're already fallen in line. They're already part of the crew. So you don't need to take a lot of their family and plug them into supercomputers to have a virtual presence to take a little time to calm them down, but you calm them down. And they can also be used to amp them up and have them commit suicide or murder-suicide. So it just depends on how the mobsters and lobster sauce from the Kublai Khan, Genghis Khan, Montezuma set wanna, you are the words, they are the tune, play me, right? So it's pretty fucked, You have to understand how it works just by, the main way I understand how it works is by the recycling of the bullshit in my dreams to keep me in a depressed state of being and make me not want to get up and move to stay alive and recover from my abuse, because it's more painful every time because I get older. And just get depressed, lay down and die. Don't help people through. They all need to die. They are not as good as we are. They're just feeding their face and taking up space. They're not part of our great, beautiful, sexy, amazing, intelligent society. Home invading, mass murderers through raping the mind. Wow. Okay, your perception of great and my perception of great are radically different. Great to me is the essence of all creation, so we can love one another faithfully by obeying the laws to sustain the life of creation through understanding the truth of it and faithfully loving each other. That's to me but slap me Supreme Court silly with Congress and the executive branch on my bottom. I just might be a bad boy. I'm very sarcastic in case any of you idiots are watching me for the first time. But hopefully you're coherent enough to understand what I'm talking about, even without having to have watched most of our videos. It's hard for me. Alan Gibson just explained that to me too. He goes, you're so smart and you get going and you have so much access to so much knowledge, and it's easy for you to access and talk about. A lot of times you'll talk about things that are outside of the realm of most people's comprehension. So you have to really Jimmy Buffett it, keep it simple, stupid. Oh, fruitcakes, yeah, shit. Okay, come Monday, it'll be all right. Okay, wasting away again in Margaritaville. How do I explain the Gospels to people that are told what to do by assholes with technology and money, and they think this is reality? How do I do that, guys? I think you're doing it now. Okay, thanks. Reminds me, I do got spray paint cans in the studio and under my sink in the kitchen. So I'm gonna think about coming out here and extending the pickleball court area so at least lengthwise it's at regulation thing, so they can really blast it at each other if they're feeling tricksy and speed racery. What about Spreadle and Jim Jim? I think they're locked in the trunk. We got to make sure there's holes in there so those two can breathe. Okay. He's just driven up the powerful Mach 5. And when the odds are against him and there's danger, that's propaganda movies, because violence, is part of life, and you have to overcome that violence. And you have to try to keep your integrity while overcoming that violence. And if you lose your integrity, you're supposed to commit suicide. That's why the cartoons were doctored in the United States of America instead of Japan, because they weren't culturally correct for America, but they were culturally correct for Japan. That's what the little kiddos that were mass murdered in late 60s after Suzuki died explained to me in that tub. They were little kids. Well, they had to explain to their family what they were watching because their parents couldn't be with them at all places, and their parents were forced to send them to institutions, or their family was threatened to be murdered. What happened? They couldn't allow these kids into school. They'd be problematic to the teachers and to the instructors, so they sent in an assassin crew to assassinate the entire village. They were a problem to maintaining order because violence does happen. And unless you can understand how to use violence properly to maintain order, you're not a good shogun or a samurai. Ugh. According to violent, aggressive assholes who don't appreciate the life from infinite glory, don't understand how to obey natural laws, to love faithfully through holy covenants. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Love thy enemy, right? A lot of people talk about it, but they do it for money to fuck. And they don't know what they're talking about because they think that I'm the head of their violent sex cult. And I'm really brown and look like Ned the Wino and painted by an artist that's pretending to be Jimmy Walker's pretending to be for money, right? Just looking out of the window, watching the asphalt grow, right? Ain't we lucky we got them? What, drones? Good thing that I don't believe in luck. You're fortunate. I believe in living the love of the eternal Messiah, so we can reflect the beauty of the truth of creation through natural laws, through faithfully loving each other through holy covenants. It's a good thing I'm the Messiah, not the Screenwriters Guild of LA, right? Or the assholes on TBN, or all the rest of those wannabe networks of put gold in your portfolio. Rocks are going to keep you safe from people with more robots than automobiles in India that plugged the one like the Buddha into a computer about the same time they plugged the one like Solomon into a computer in the United States. Yeah, people pointed that out to me. You do know Krishnamurti died in 86 when you were dating Rocky. Well, that's the line of Uriah. So the line of Krishnamurti is just a little bit older. I don't know how many changes in technology through the years back in the 80s were as rapid and as intense as they are now. But Yolanda Denise Gilliard's with the line of Solomon through Chief Gilliard's family was back in 88 or 89, 90 was when that termination of pregnancy happened. So the line of Uriah has the same time plugged into the computer in the United States that they thought they were trying to get the one that was like Solomon. Yeah, they wanted to hook me up with, but it wouldn't have worked. Even when we hooked up, me and Law didn't hook up right away. I met Yolanda the night me and Rocky broke up, and Rocky went to go abort the baby. But we didn't spark it off. Law wasn't ready for me. She didn't have the same intellectual capacity to understand my jokes and my sarcasm and my intelligence that Rocky did. So you're saying, yeah, no, Rocky is very astute. She's very intelligent. Okay. In tribalism and survival. Okay. As far as the blatantly obvious that they're lying to you because money ain't real, and just because his dick is bigger doesn't mean he's a better man. Yeah, she has trouble with that. But as far as seeing the sarcasm, to where he's like, damn, he's really smart. He's a hell of a lot smarter than all the big dick black guys in my tribe. I wonder if Mom will let me take him home and have kids with him. I don't think so. Is Mom a Jehovah's Witness? Well, Abraham Quintanilla and Mrs. Sally have a lot in common. I don't know if her name was Mrs. Sally. I don't know if she named the little girl after her family or after the biological family. I don't know. I never asked. I wasn't that, I called her Mrs. Sally, so yeah, it was from the mom's family, not the biological sperm donors. Okay, yeah, that's right. So I did call her Mrs. Sally. So then she would have corrected me. Right on. So I love you guys. We'll talk later. I didn't know her first name. I just called her Mrs. Sarname. I know Kaylynn's because I was engaged to be married to Law, and she brought me over. We had dinner together. I went and bought food for the family and movies and joked. And yeah, like Jerry Provencio Javier, I dated the family because this was going to be my family, right? And so, I love you guys very much. We'll talk later. I'll just keep working. You just keep listening. I didn't want to have to carry most of you into the kingdom of heaven that we're praying to the line of King David for world peace, but you can't. You have to take the world for what it is and not for what you want it to be. So I'm tough. I'll keep carrying most of you into the kingdom of heaven by correcting what you vote for money, what you call technology. I'm always going to ask you every day, hey, stand up with me for the Lord's Prayer so I don't have to do all the work fixing the technology, being abused by the scientists in this community that are jealous of me. And you guys, oh, you're not God. Never said I was. Said I was the line of King David, Prince of Peace, the eternal spirit of Adam, Moses, David, Jesus, John. Jesus, the Lord, like the others before him and all the others yet to come until we finally accept the apocalypse and live the truth of his commands. I'm like him. And if you don't believe that, all your money and your gold portfolios ain't going to keep you safe from your lie that Rockefeller and Rothschild collect every day on your cell phones, that keep your numbers safe on your crypto cards on your phones. That's just batshit fucking crazy. Holy bikinis, Batman, I know. All right, peace.